In the vast expanse of the cosmos, where civilizations rose and fell like the tides, there existed a species known as the Celtari. Once a proud and ancient race, the Celtari had long ago mastered the intricacies of interstellar travel and communication. Yet their story was not one of triumph, but of exile and isolation. The Celtari were considered weak and inferior by the other dominant galactic powers. Their physiology, while well suited to their homeworld's harsh environment, was seen as fragile and unimpressive when compared to the towering frames and enhanced capabilities of their neighbors. This perception of weakness had doomed the Celtari to the fringes of galactic society, denied access to the most advanced technologies and resources. For generations, the Celtari had endured the scorn and disdain of their peers, forced to scrounge for scraps and eke out a meager existence on the periphery of the known universe. They were shunned, their voices silenced, their very right to thrive in the galaxy questioned at every turn. Yet, the Celtari were not a race to be easily broken. Beneath their unassuming exteriors, they possessed a resilience and adaptability that their adversaries had repeatedly underestimated. Forced to survive in the harshest of environments, the Celtari had honed their skills in ways that defied the expectations of the galactic elite. As the centuries passed, the Celtari's desperation grew. They watched helplessly as their numbers dwindled, their dreams of a prosperous future slipping further and further away. The time had come to make a desperate gamble, to venture forth into the unknown, risking everything in search of a haven where they could finally find the acceptance and security that had always eluded them. With their aged, battered ships, the Celtari set out, their course charted for the farthest reaches of the galaxy. They knew the risks, for the powerful civilizations that had shunned them would not hesitate to hunt them down, to eliminate the weak race that dared to defy their dominance. But the Celtari had little choice. Their backs were against the wall, and the only path forward was one of uncertainty and peril. As their ships traversed the vast, uncharted gulfs between star systems, the Celtari elders huddled together, their eyes filled with a mixture of fear and determination. "We must find a new home," spoke the eldest among them, his voice wavering with the weight of their predicament. "A place where we can build a future, where our children can thrive without the constant threat of annihilation." The others nodded solemnly, their own thoughts consumed by the gravity of their situation. They knew that their quest might very well end in failure, their ships destroyed or their people captured and subjugated by the unyielding forces that pursued them. But the Celtari were not ones to surrender easily. For too long, they had been the victims of the galaxy's cruelty, forced to endure the indignities heaped upon them by those who considered themselves superior. Now, with their survival at stake, they were willing to take the greatest of risks, to venture into the unknown in search of a glimmer of hope. And so, the Celtari ships pressed on, their weary occupants clinging to the belief that somewhere, beyond the vast expanse of the cosmos, a new future awaited them, a future where they might finally find the acceptance and security that had eluded them for so long. The Celtari ships, battered and wearied from their long journey through the vast, uncharted reaches of the galaxy, had finally reached the edge of a small, isolated human colony. For the first time in their history, the Celtari were about to come face to face with another intelligent species, a species they knew little about, but one that could hold the key to their survival. As the Celtari vessels approached the human settlement, their leaders convened a hasty council, debating the merits and risks of making first contact. Some argued for caution, fearful that the humans might react with hostility, mirroring the disdain and rejection they had experienced from the other galactic powers. "We cannot trust these outsiders," warned one of the elders, his voice laced with trepidation. "They may see us as a threat, as they have no knowledge of our ways or our plight." But others, driven by the desperation of their situation, insisted that they had no choice but to take a chance. The Celtari were running out of options, their resources dwindling, and the threat of their pursuers looming ever closer. "We must try," argued a younger Celtari, her eyes filled with a determined fire. "If we do not, we will perish, and our people will vanish from the galaxy forever. These humans may be our only hope." After much heated debate, the Tseltari leaders reluctantly agreed to make first contact, sending a small delegation of their most diplomatic and persuasive members to approach the human colony. As the Tseltari envoys approached the settlement, they were met with a mix of curiosity and wariness from the human colonists. The humans had never encountered an alien race before, and the sight of the strange, unfamiliar vessels had sent a wave of unease through the community. The Tseltari emissaries, their movements slow and non-threatening, tried to convey their peaceful intentions through a series of gestures and basic vocalizations. But the language barrier proved to be a significant obstacle, and the humans remained cautious, unwilling to let their guard down. Tensions mounted as the two parties struggled to find common ground, each side wary of the other's intentions. The Tseltari, sensing the humans' distrust, knew that they had to tread carefully, lest they jeopardize their last, desperate chance at finding a safe haven. Slowly, through a combination of patience, persistence, and the occasional use of basic technological demonstrations, the Tseltari began to chip away at the humans' apprehension. They shared glimpses of their ancient culture, their rich history, and the dire circumstances that had driven them to seek refuge on this remote outpost. The humans, initially skeptical, gradually found themselves drawn to the Tseltari's plight. There was an undeniable sadness and vulnerability in the alien race, a profound sense of displacement that resonated with the colonists, many of whom had fled their own homeworlds in search of a better life. As the days turned into weeks, the Tseltari and the humans began to forge tentative connections, slowly building a foundation of trust and understanding. The Tseltari elders, sensing an opportunity, made a bold proposal to the human leaders. They sought sanctuary and the chance to start anew, promising to contribute their knowledge and skills in exchange for the safety and security that had always eluded them. The human colony found itself facing a momentous decision. Granting refuge to the Tseltari would not only go against the norms and expectations of the broader human civilization, but it would also open them up to potential repercussions from the galactic powers that had shunned the alien race. Yet, as the colonists learned more about the Tseltari's plight, their sense of empathy and compassion began to swell. These were not invaders or conquerors, but a people in desperate need of a chance to survive and thrive. And deep within the hearts of the human community, a growing conviction began to take root, that they could not, in good conscience, turn their backs on those in need. With a mixture of trepidation and resolve, the human leaders made their decision. They would offer the Tseltari a chance to seek refuge within their colony, providing them with the resources and support they needed to rebuild their lives. A bold and risky move that would forever change the course of both their worlds. The Tseltari elders, buoyed by the human colony's decision to offer them sanctuary, wasted no time in dispatching a delegation to establish formal contact and solidify the alliance. Leading the envoy was Terra, a seasoned diplomat known for her keen intellect and persuasive nature. She understood that the success of this mission would rest not just on the willingness of the humans to accept the Tseltari, but also on the ability of the two races to overcome the language and cultural barriers that threatened to divide them. As Tara and her team approached the human settlement, they were greeted with a mix of curiosity and apprehension. The colonists, while open to the possibility of welcoming the Tseltari, remained cautious, unsure of what to expect from these strange, otherworldly beings. Tara, sensing the hesitation, took a measured step forward, her movements slow and non-threatening. With a gentle, almost musical tone, she began to speak in the Tseltari's native tongue, her words carefully chosen to convey the gravity of their situation and the sincerity of their desire for peace and cooperation. The humans, though unable to understand the alien language, could not help but be captivated by the emotional resonance of Tara's words. Her body language, her facial expressions, and the underlying urgency in her voice all conspired to paint a vivid picture of the Tseltari's plight, a people driven to the brink of extinction, seeking nothing more than a chance to start anew. Slowly, the tension in the air began to dissipate, as the human colonists found themselves drawn to the Xelteri's plight. Their own histories, marked by displacement and the pursuit of a better life, echoed the story that Terra was conveying, and a sense of empathy began to take root. Recognizing the need for a more direct means of communication, the Xelteri delegation produced a small handheld device, a rudimentary translator that could convert their words into the common human language. This technological offering, combined with Terra's continued efforts to bridge the cultural divide, gradually chipped away at the colonists' apprehension. As the days turned into weeks, the Xelteri and the humans began to forge a fragile, yet increasingly meaningful bond. Terra and her team shared glimpses of their ancient traditions, their rich artistic heritage, and the profound respect they held for the natural world, values that resonated deeply with the human colonists. In turn, the Xelteri were fascinated by the humans' own unique culture, their ingenuity, and their unwavering spirit in the face of adversity. They marveled at the humans' ability to thrive in this remote, isolated outpost, and saw in them a glimmer of hope for their own future. Slowly but surely, the trust between the two races began to grow, as they discovered unexpected commonalities and a shared desire to create a better, more inclusive future. The Xelteri elders, sensing the shifting tides, knew that they had to seize this opportunity to demonstrate their worth and their commitment to this newfound alliance. With renewed determination, they began to share their knowledge and skills with the human colonists, offering insights into advanced technologies, medical breakthroughs, and sustainable agricultural practices that had long eluded the humans. The colonists, in turn, welcomed these contributions, seeing them as invaluable assets in their ongoing struggle to thrive in the harsh, unforgiving environment of their adopted home. As the Xelteri's value became increasingly apparent, the lingering doubts and suspicions within the human community began to melt away. The once shunned aliens were now seen as partners, their unique perspectives and abilities offering the potential to unlock new possibilities for the colony. With each passing day, the bond between the Xelteri and the humans grew stronger, forged in the crucible of mutual understanding and a shared vision for a brighter tomorrow. And as the human leaders contemplated the implications of this alliance, they knew that they had made the right choice, a decision that would forever alter the course of their world, and perhaps the galaxy itself. The human colony's decision to offer sanctuary to the Xelteri was not an easy one, nor was it without its challenges. The community found itself grappling with a host of complex issues, both practical and ethical, as they welcomed the alien refugees into their midst. At the forefront of their concerns was the safety and security of the colony itself. The humans knew that by harboring the Xelteri, they were opening themselves up to potential retaliation from the powerful galactic civilizations that had shunned the alien race. The threat of invasion, or even annihilation, loomed large in the minds of the colonists. Yet, the overwhelming sense of compassion and the desire to help those in need ultimately prevailed. The human leaders, after much deliberation, decided to grant the Xelteri limited access to the colony's resources and technology, with the understanding that they would work together to ensure the mutual safety and prosperity of both communities. The integration of the Xelteri into the human settlement was not without its challenges. Language barriers, cultural differences, and the natural suspicion that arose from the unfamiliarity of their new neighbors all threatened to undermine the fragile alliance. But the Xelteri, led by their diplomatic envoy Terra, were determined to prove their worth and earn the trust of their human hosts. They worked tirelessly to learn the intricacies of the human language and customs, adapting their own ways to better fit within the framework of the colony. In return, the humans made concerted efforts to understand the Xelteri's unique perspectives and needs. They set aside dedicated spaces for the aliens to practice their ancient rituals and traditions, and they made provisions to ensure that the Xelteri had access to the resources and environmental conditions necessary for their survival and well-being. As the weeks turned into months, the initial tension and apprehension slowly gave way to a growing sense of camaraderie and interdependence. The Xelteri, with their deep knowledge of science, technology, and sustainable resource management, began to make invaluable contributions to the colony's infrastructure and overall resilience. In turn, the humans shared their own expertise in fields such as agriculture, medicine, and engineering, helping the Tseltari to adapt to the unfamiliar climate and terrain of their new home. It was a symbiotic relationship, one that allowed both communities to flourish in ways they had never imagined possible. Yet, beneath the surface, the looming threat of the Tseltari's pursuers remained a constant source of anxiety. The human leaders knew that they were harboring fugitives from the larger galactic order, and that this decision could have far-reaching consequences for their own colony. Tensions within the human community began to rise as some voiced concerns over the risks of sheltering the Tseltari. They argued that the potential rewards of this alliance were not worth the dangers it posed, and that the colony's resources would be better spent on securing their own future. But the majority of the colonists, inspired by the Tseltari's resilience and the growing bonds of friendship and mutual respect, remained steadfast in their support. They recognized that in the Tseltari they had found not just refugees, but valuable allies, individuals whose unique skills and perspectives could help to strengthen the colony's defenses and ensure its long-term survival. As the debate raged on, the Tseltari continued to prove their worth, working tirelessly to enhance the colony's technology, optimize its resource management, and develop innovative solutions to the challenges of their new environment. And with each passing day, the humans grew more convinced that their decision to offer sanctuary had been the right one. For the Tseltari, the human colony represented a beacon of hope, a place where they could finally rebuild their lives and reclaim the dignity that had been stripped from them by the rest of the galaxy. And as they poured their hearts and souls into this newfound alliance, they knew that the fate of their race, and perhaps the fate of the entire galaxy, hung in the balance. As the Tseltari settled into their new home within the human colony, the members of the two communities began to recognize that the perceived weaknesses of the alien race were, in fact, remarkable adaptations to their harsh homeworld environment. The Tseltari's slender, unassuming frames, which had once been the source of so much derision and marginalization, now revealed themselves to be the product of millennia of evolution. Their bodies, finely tuned to the unique atmospheric conditions and gravity of their native planet, possessed capabilities that the humans had never before encountered. For instance, the Tseltari's ability to move with near-effortless grace and agility, even in the relatively heavier gravity of the human colony, astounded the colonists. They watched in awe as the aliens traversed the landscape, their movements fluid and efficient, almost as if they were gliding through the air. Similarly, the Tseltari's remarkable resilience and endurance came to the fore as they assisted the humans in their daily tasks. The aliens could work tirelessly for hours on end, with little need for rest or sustenance, their bodies seemingly impervious to the physical demands of the colony's harsh conditions. And perhaps most astonishingly, the Tseltari's innate connection to the natural world, honed through generations of reverence and respect for their environment, allowed them to unlock new possibilities in the realm of agriculture, resource management, and environmental preservation. The human colonists, who had long struggled to eke out a living in the unforgiving terrain, found themselves captivated by the Tseltari's innovative approaches to cultivation and land stewardship. They marveled at the aliens' ability to coax bountiful harvests from the seemingly barren soil, and their uncanny understanding of the delicate balance between living organisms and their surroundings. As the Tseltari shared their knowledge and techniques with their human counterparts, the colony's productivity and self-sufficiency began to soar. Crop yields increased, water sources were better managed, and the overall resilience of the settlement grew stronger with each passing day. The humans, once convinced of the Tseltari's weakness and inferiority, now found themselves deeply impressed by the alien race's capabilities. What had once been viewed as limitations were now recognized as remarkable adaptations, born of a deep understanding of the natural world that the humans had never before encountered. This newfound respect and appreciation for the Tseltari's unique strengths began to slowly erode the lingering doubts and suspicions within the human community. The colonists, once wary of the alien refugees, now saw them as valuable allies, crucial partners in the ongoing struggle to build a thriving and self-sustaining settlement. The Tseltari, for their part, were heartened by this shift in perception. They had long yearned for the opportunity to prove their worth, to demonstrate that their perceived weaknesses were, in fact, the very qualities that made them resilient and adaptable. And now, as they watched the humans embrace their contributions and marvel at their abilities, they felt a renewed sense of purpose and belonging. Together, the Tseltari and the humans began to forge an even stronger bond, one rooted in mutual respect, admiration, and a shared vision for the future. They knew that the challenges they faced, both from the unforgiving environment and the looming threat of their pursuers, would require the full force of their combined strengths and ingenuity. And as they worked side by side, the Tseltari and the humans began to see the outlines of a new, better tomorrow, a future where their two races, once divided by prejudice and fear, would stand united, shaping the course of their world and perhaps the galaxy itself. As the Tseltari and the human colonists continued to work together, building upon their newfound understanding and respect, a remarkable transformation began to unfold. What had once been a tenuous, fragile alliance blossomed into a deep and steadfast partnership, one forged in the crucible of shared adversity and a common vision for the future. The Tseltari, buoyed by the humans' acceptance and the opportunity to contribute their unique skills and knowledge, poured their hearts and souls into the endeavor. They shared their advanced technological insights, helping the colonists to enhance their infrastructure, communication systems, and defensive capabilities. In turn, the humans welcomed these contributions, recognizing the immense value that the Tseltari's expertise brought to the table. Together, they pooled their resources and worked tirelessly to strengthen the colony, preparing it for the looming threats that they knew would one day come. As the partnership deepened, the Tseltari and the humans began to see each other not merely as allies, but as trusted friends and family. They learned each other's languages, customs, and traditions, fostering a rich cultural exchange that further solidified the bonds between their communities. The Tseltari elders, once wary and cautious, now embraced the humans with open arms, their hearts filled with a gratitude and sense of belonging that they had not experienced in generations. And the human colonists, in turn, welcomed the alien refugees as their own, their initial suspicions replaced by a deep affection and unwavering loyalty. Together, the Tseltari and the humans devised a comprehensive plan to defend their newfound home, drawing upon the combined strengths of their respective communities. The Tseltari's advanced knowledge of technology and their innate understanding of the natural world were seamlessly integrated with the humans' tactical expertise and resourcefulness, forging a formidable alliance that would be prepared to face any challenge. As the colony's defenses were fortified, the Tseltari and the humans also turned their attention to the prospect of a brighter future. They collaborated on ambitious projects, exploring new frontiers in science, medicine, and sustainable resource management, each race contributing its unique perspectives and capabilities. The human colonists marveled at the Tseltari's innovative approaches to problem-solving, their ability to think outside the confines of traditional frameworks, and the Tseltari, in turn, were captivated by the humans' boundless creativity and their willingness to embrace bold, unconventional solutions. Through this synergistic relationship, the colony began to thrive in ways that neither the Tseltari nor the humans had ever imagined possible. Their combined efforts yielded remarkable advancements, from the development of advanced propulsion systems to the discovery of groundbreaking medical treatments. And as word of their success spread, the Tseltari and the humans found themselves the subject of growing fascination and admiration from the broader galactic community. The once shunned alien race had not only found a safe haven, but had also forged an alliance that promised to reshape the very balance of power in the cosmos. The human colonists, once hesitant and wary, now stood tall and proud, their confidence bolstered by the knowledge that they had made a profound difference in the lives of the Tseltari. And the Tseltari, in turn, felt a renewed sense of purpose and dignity, their long-held dreams of acceptance and security finally realized. Together, the two races embarked on a journey into the unknown, their sights set on a future where they would not just survive, but thrive. A future where their alliance would serve as a beacon of hope, inspiring others to cast aside prejudice and embrace the power of cooperation and mutual understanding. The growing alliance between the Tseltari and the human colonists did not go unnoticed by the powerful civilizations that had once shunned and marginalized the alien race. As word of their success and technological advancements spread throughout the galaxy, the Tseltari's pursuers became increasingly agitated, their fears of losing control over their perceived inferiors rising to the surface. Sensing that their newfound sanctuary was in jeopardy, the Tseltari elders convened a meeting with the human leaders, their faces etched with a mixture of determination and trepidation. "Our pursuers have tracked us to your colony," spoke Terra, her voice grave and resolute. "They will not rest until they have reclaimed us or destroyed us entirely." The human colonists, their own security and well-being now deeply intertwined with that of the Tseltari, felt a surge of protective instinct. They had come to see the aliens as family, and the thought of losing them to the callous forces of the galactic powers filled them with a righteous fury. "We will not let them take you," declared the colony's leader, her eyes burning with a fierce resolve. "This is your home now, and we will defend it with everything we have." In the days that followed, the Tseltari and the humans worked tirelessly to shore up their defenses, drawing upon their combined strengths and innovative strategies to prepare for the inevitable confrontation. The Tseltari's advanced technological knowledge was instrumental in upgrading the colony's defensive systems, incorporating cutting-edge shielding, weaponry, and early warning capabilities. Meanwhile, the humans' tactical expertise and intimate understanding of the local terrain provided crucial insights that allowed them to devise a comprehensive plan of action. As the alien vessels approached the colony, the Tseltari and the humans stood united, their resolve unwavering. The invaders, confident in their superior firepower and numbers, expected a swift and decisive victory. But they had underestimated the strength of the alliance that had taken root in this remote corner of the galaxy. The ensuing battle was fierce and relentless, with both sides unleashing the full extent of their technological and military might. The skies above the colony were rent with the thunderous roar of energy weapons and the brilliant flashes of defensive countermeasures. But the Tseltari and the humans, driven by their shared commitment to freedom and their deep bond of friendship, fought with a ferocity that took their adversaries by surprise. Their coordinated strategies, honed through countless hours of planning and drills, proved to be the deciding factor, as they systematically neutralized the invaders' superiority in numbers and firepower. As the battle raged on, the Tseltari and the humans experienced moments of peril and uncertainty, but they never wavered in their resolve. They stood side by side, their trust in one another unwavering, each drawing strength from the other's courage and determination. And when the smoke finally cleared, the Tseltari and the human colonists emerged victorious, their alliance forged in the crucible of conflict. The once shunned alien race had not only found a safe haven, but had also proven their worth to the galaxy, their contributions to the defense of the colony earning them a newfound respect and admiration. The news of the Tseltari-human alliance's triumph spread like wildfire through the cosmos, inspiring awe and wonder in those who had once dismissed the aliens as weak and insignificant. The balance of power had shifted, and the galaxy's dominant civilizations found themselves forced to reckon with the formidable partnership that had taken root in this remote corner of the universe. For the Tseltari and the humans, this victory was not just a triumph of arms, but a validation of their belief in the transformative power of cooperation and mutual understanding. They had faced overwhelming odds and emerged victorious, their bond of friendship and shared purpose proving to be the most formidable weapon of all. In the aftermath of the victorious battle against the invading forces, the Tseltari and the human colonists found themselves united in a newfound sense of purpose and pride. The once shunned alien race had not only found a safe haven within the human settlement, but had also proven their worth to the broader galactic community. The Tseltari, their spirits soaring with the realization that they had finally found a place where they could thrive, embraced their human counterparts with renewed fervor. They poured their hearts and souls into the reconstruction and further development of the colony, sharing their expertise in ways that transformed the very fabric of the community. The human colonists, in turn, welcomed the Tseltari with open arms, their initial suspicions replaced by a deep affection and unwavering loyalty. They marveled at the aliens' contributions, which had not only strengthened the colony's defenses, but had also unlocked new frontiers in science, technology, and sustainable resource management. Together, the Tseltari and the humans forged a truly symbiotic relationship, each race's unique strengths and perspectives complementing the other. The colony, once a remote and isolated outpost, had become a beacon of hope and innovation, drawing the attention of other marginalized alien races who sought to follow in their footsteps. As word of the Tseltari-human alliance's triumph spread throughout the galaxy, the dominant civilizations that had once shunned and scorned the alien race found themselves confronted with a profound shift in the balance of power. The success of this partnership, and the technological and cultural advancements it had spawned, challenged the very foundations of the galactic order. Faced with the undeniable evidence of the Tseltari's resilience and the humans' capacity for innovation, the once dismissive powers were forced to reckon with the notion that their assumptions about the weak alien race had been gravely mistaken. The Tseltari, through their alliance with the humans, had proven themselves to be far more than just outcasts. They were valuable partners, worthy of respect and inclusion in the broader galactic community. And so, the Tseltari and the humans found themselves at the forefront of a movement for change, their story inspiring others to cast aside their prejudices and embrace the power of cooperation and mutual understanding. As more alien races sought refuge and alliance with the human colony, the Tseltari's dream of acceptance and security began to take shape on a grander scale. The colony, once a mere outpost on the fringes of the known universe, had now become a thriving hub of diversity and innovation, a testament to the transformative power of the Tseltari-human partnership. The two races, once divided by their differences, now stood united as equal partners, their combined strengths shaping the course of the galaxy itself. For the Tseltari, the realization of their long-held dreams was a profound and humbling experience. They had endured centuries of rejection and marginalization, only to find a new home and a new family among the humans. And as they looked to the future, they saw not just the promise of survival, but the opportunity to build a legacy that would echo through the ages. The human colonists, too, were transformed by this extraordinary alliance. They had opened their hearts and their community to the Tseltari, and in doing so, had discovered a new way of living, one rooted in compassion, innovation, and a shared vision for a better tomorrow. As the Tseltari and the humans stood side by side, their gaze fixed on the endless expanse of the cosmos, they knew that their story was just the beginning. The galaxy, once divided and unforgiving, had been forever changed by the power of their alliance, a testament to the transformative potential of those who dare to defy the odds and forge their own path.